Villemino joins me in the studio. Hello to you,
morning.
Flo. So just about 10 days to go until these presidential elections kick off. And of course, it's all over the French press today, as we would expect. Who should it be but a socialist candidate, François Hollande?
He's all over the papers today, and he's on the cover of 20 Minutes, the free newspaper, on the cover of the business daily Les Echos, and here he is on the cover of left-leaning newspaper Libération. There you see a photo of him. J'ai le devoir de réussir. I must succeed. Now, Libération has a special edition on François Hollande and a 9-page interview with him. And they also have their editorial is wonders why François Hollande's campaign maybe hasn't triggered as much enthusiasm as, say, François Mitterrand back in 1981 or even Jean-Luc Mélenchon this time around. Now, I wonders if François Hollande might lack some sort of spark that enchants voters. But François Hollande says that he's a different kind of candidate. He's not a candidate that's there to steal the spotlight. He's not a bling-bling candidate. He says that his responsibility is above that, and he's going to stay calm and not give any false promises. Now, it's a long interview, so
yeah, the paper's doing its part to try to make sure he gets lots of coverage.
They are giving him a lot of coverage. It's a long interview, so I'll just give you a few highlights. First of all, concerning the economy, he answers to his critics who say that if the socialists are elected, there's going to be France's deficit is going to skyrocket. But François Hollande says that France's deficit is already through the roof and unemployment is already soaring. He also answers to whether or not he's going to open up his government. Now, Nicolas Sarkozy, for instance, has said that he would be willing to open up his government, and so maybe trying to attract centrist François Bayrou and his voters. François Hollande, on the other hand, says he won't open up his government. He says that only people who follow his program will be in the government. So that's answering to people who wonder whether or not, if Jean-Luc Mélenchon makes a good score in the first round, whether he'll open up his government. Exactly. Yeah. So according to this interview, at least, he says no. He also outlines his international program, so mainly threefold. It would be pulling troops out of Afghanistan. Syria would also be a top concern for François Hollande. Even though he says he has no criticism for Sarkozy's government on that dossier. And another top concern is the Sahel region, where a branch of Al-Qaeda is holding several French citizens hostage. And here on the cover of La Croix, the Christian newspaper, are the photos of some of those hostages. Now, we have not forgotten the French hostages, says the Christian newspaper.
Thank you for that. Now, Hollande is also the focus of the right-leaning newspaper, Le Figaro. What do they have to say about it?
They have their editorial, and it's called Hollande's double strain, the double problem facing Hollande. And according to them, it's the markets and Jean-Luc Mélenchon. So according to the markets, basically, Hollande has made the markets in the financial world his #1 enemy. But if he's elected, he's going to have to reassure the markets, make friends with them, because these are people investing in France. Also with Mélenchon, if Hollande is elected, he's going to have to deal with Mélenchon, as we see. He's, according to different polls, he's in 3rd or 4th place. But what's really interesting about this article is that Le Figaro is having a scenario where Hollande would be elected. So the right-leaning newspaper is trying to see what would happen if Hollande is elected. So it's a very interesting kind of point of view
about it. So we're going to turn the focus away now from politics and have a look at another story that's big in the French press today. A mystery story coming out of China concerning the downfall of a powerful politician in Chongqing.
Absolutely. Libération has a very interesting factual piece which explains exactly what happened, the rise and fall of Bo Xilai. So he was the head of the Chongqing municipality, the biggest city in the world. And in 2009, he was named Man of the Year. Now he's being sacked from the Communist Party for allegations of corruption. There's also a very interesting piece in Les Echos, the business daily, that sees what the impact of this case is on China and what it says about China today. According to this article, there have been rumors flying on the equivalent of Twitter. There are even rumors that there might be a coup d'etat. According to Les Echos, China is in a very delicate place right now. There's going to be a transition of power with the president leaving power after 10 years, and also there's a lot of criticism and public resentment. So all this is coming out of this case in China right now.
Of course, he and his wife potentially in the frame for the murder of a British national as well. So quite the scandal. Thank you very much for taking us through what's going on in the French press, Florence Villemino.